Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 4 here in season 2 of Green and Gold Over Everything. And we're very excited because another great week of Packer football to talk about. Very, very excited to see what this new week has in store for as those horrible Minnesota Vikings come into town to take on the Green Bay Packers. It should be a very interesting one from Lambeau. But, of course, as always, I got my guys here with me, Dishon, Rucker coming in the building, my guy Randell Burns. We're going to talk about last week's game. We're going to get into previewing this week's game. And we just got a lot of good things to talk about. So once again, everybody, thank you all for tuning in for another episode of Green and Gold Over Everything here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Let's get it started.
Here's Love. Taps it a couple times. Going in. So Dobbs. Touchdown.
From the Atlanta 32. Off the play fake. Love fires over the middle. And it's caught for a first down. And a touchdown. By Jair Alexander this afternoon. Carr taken down on third down. Kenny Clark, the two-time Pro Bowler. 9, second quarter underway. Carr down. Back at the 16-yard line. Rashawn Garrett. Here's Reed. And Reed wins. And Reed got a block and a touchdown. Chasing behind his sack by Luke Van Ness. Here comes the Chiefs. Pressure's on. Love throws. Enzo Wilson. Oh, did he catch that? He did. Dobbs in motion. Love looks to the end zone. Touchdown. Oh, Melton's got that one. And Jones runs down the face. Fake it to him here. Love, back foot, has a man wide open. It's going to be caught by Musgrave. Racing towards the end zone. He is in. Touchdown, Green Bay. 35, 4-man rush. Prescott fires for Cooks, and it's intercepted. Jair Alexander, he's got it. Up on his feet, racing to the end zone, and is in. Touchdown, Green Bay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another episode of Green and Gold Over Everything. Episode 4 here in season 2. I'm excited. I know my boys are excited, but first of all, let me go ahead and give the introductions because the way they probably need to be done. First, I think the tagline says it all. The Green and Gold Over Everything. My man Randell Burns in the building. Randall, how's everything going, brother?
Is your quarterback broken? Can't seem to get right? Can't read defense? Send him down to Green Bay and Tom Clements. We'll get him figured out.
and next, my guy, Dishon Rucker in the building. The Rucker Report. What's up, Dishon? How you doing, bro?
Hey man, that dude right there is a star, man. Get that dude, him and Bomani Jones. I need to see that.
Yo, I look and it.
I just need to see it, bro.
I'm telling you, yo, stop playing. Hey, look,
we have a Tom Clements. They don't. That's the difference.
We got the legend, baby. We got the legend. Look, here's the thing, man. Like watching our guy play over the last couple of weeks. Episode, I guess it was episode 2. I can sit here and say, yeah, I was very, very skeptical of what I was going to see from the young man. But Tom Clements is a monster. And, man, we're going to get into it. Before we get deep into it, first of all, the Packers did win last Sunday 30-14 over the Tennessee Titans. And to be honest with you, the game really wasn't close. It was just a really well-played game by the Packers in this contest. Fellas, it was a good thing to see. Matt had a lot to say after the game. So let's listen to what Matt. Before we
go play that because I want to. This is something that he said I want to hear again.
All right, so let's listen to what Matt had to say after the Packers' victory on Sunday.
Green and tight. We a family, man. I'll tell you what. 2 weeks in a row, not only complimentary but unselfish as man. What a great team win. Give it up for yourself. I'm telling you, that was a dominant performance. There was playmakers all around, from our specialists with Narverson coming back here. And we had Daniel Wheeler freaking averaging 49 yards a punt. How about give it up for the O-line? 47 carries for 188, and it's not just you guys. Give it up for the wideouts blocking their ass. How about give it up for Emmanuel Wilson for his first touchdown? And what a dominant performance by our defense. 8 sacks. 8 sacks. We're +3 today, man. How about John Money with the pick? We had JJ with the sack fumble. And X just keeps getting more picks. Game balls for the entire defense today, man. And I've got one other special game ball. This guy was 13 and 19 for 202. 73 yards on the ground.
Appreciate y'all having my back, bro. Appreciate y'all having my back, bro. That's all I ask, bro.
Great job.
Hey, man, like I said last week, the best teams, man, they keep building off wins. They keep building off this. It's the process in which we got here, man. Let's keep on the process. Everything you did last week to be in this position, do it again. And let's lean on our brothers. Packers on 3. 1, 2, 3.
I'm sorry. I'm excited. I've never seen Matt so fired up. I didn't know he could cuss. First of all, I didn't know that was in his vocabulary until the last couple of weeks. I didn't know he was breaking out hammers the way he has been. But the last 2 weeks, the energy has definitely been different. Now, Randall, you were saying something that you had to get out that happened from the post game.
In the press conference after the game, he was like, "Yeah, you just got to give Tom hell of a job by Tom Clements, hell of a job. You know, he's really worked with this kid." And then he goes, "And Sean Mannion too." No, sir. I saw Sean Mannion play in Oregon State. I saw Sean Mannion as a backup for the Vikings. You give all that credit where it's rightfully deserved to Tom Clements. You just brought Sean Mannion in here this offseason. Stop it. Don't you ever disrespect Tom Clements like that. Because if Aaron didn't bring him back here, I don't know what Jordan would look like right now. Goop might not. Well, not. He probably still have it. That's something I always think about. Like if Jordan had a flamed out, would Goop still have a job? But then again, he might, because he might have got Malik. Because if we didn't have Jordan and we still have Malik, we could roll with that. Ruck was right. I was wrong. Ruck was right.
Listen, in the immortal words of Martin Lawrence and Will Smith and Bad Boys, my stuff always works sometimes. Always.
That's beautiful. And it's crazy because, it's such a stark contrast from what we've seen from him in the past, especially with the Titans. It just if you go back and look at Titans tape, and Randall, I know we talked about this, fellas, a couple of weeks ago, but if you go back and look at the Titans tape, you were like, oh boy, this is not so good. Bad. This is ugly.
It wasn't the right offense.
That's wasn't the right offense. He looks like Liberty Malik.
Yes.
Right.
He looks like Liberty Malik.
Right.
And
so even look at it like this, even how we can kind of draw the line to where we are this week, right? Look at how comfortable Sam Darnold is in Minnesota's offense, right? If you look at it, and if you look at his time at USC, a lot of their formations, a lot of what they do mirror what he did in college when he had all that success. When he went to the Jets, not only just the franchise was in disarray, but their offensive play calling just wasn't what it is. You give a quarterback in this league confidence and make them comfortable, it's night and day what they can look like. And then even to Burns' point, I think it's it's overplayed a lot especially with black quarterbacks, their ability to read defenses, right? Most offenses that you look at in the league with quarterbacks are set up for a 2, possibly 3 read system at the most, right? Now, that's outside of quarterbacks like Joe Burrow, Aaron, Patty, of course, when Tom Brady was in, that can read left to right or right to left, right? So think about even success San Fran has had with Brock Purdy. That's a 2-read system. His system is, if the tight end is not open, if my 1 is not open, swing to the outside the backfield, right? So, of course, what Matt and those guys have done with our system is say, hey, Malik, listen, you got 2 reads. If the first person that is designed to go to is not open, here's your check down. If you don't have a check down, run. That's perfect for him. It plays right into his skill set. And that's what I was saying to y'all when we first got him. I said, listen, his skill set can work with this system. And like Burns was saying, Matt, that's why I changed my tagline. Please, Matt, please. When 10 comes back, don't get cute, Matt. Believe in yourself, Matt.
Yes.
Keep your system, Matt. There are a couple more things that you could throw in because he got a better arm. But Matt, please.
It's working. It's working.
I wanted to throw away whatever playbook you was going to start the season with and just use this Malik playbook.
Yo, scrap that.
Switch that check over. I want that one. It just looks clean. And it's crazy the confidence level that he's gained in 2 weeks compared to what he had in 10. I know we keep going back, or I keep going back to Tennessee, but it's just the confidence level. Even in that first game, I was like, wow, he looks extremely confident for somebody who's only been there like a week and a half. So, but they've made everything, tailored to him. And I think a lot of teams could learn from this. The Commanders, and as you know, I cover the Commanders when I'm not in love with my green and gold, but they're doing the same thing right now with Jaden Daniels. They made fun of him and said, college offense, but the college offense threw up 38 points on you last week. And what is he doing? He's protecting the football. He's making the right plays. He runs when he needs to.
Yep.
And each week they give him a little bit more, and every little bit more that he gets better and better and better. And I feel like they'll open up a smidge more this week when they go to Arizona, but I think it's going to be a process. They won't do, but so that's the key. That's why Caleb Williams is out here looking like horse poopy right now. Which
I think that's a part of that is him though too.
Yeah, he's doing a little bit.
A lot of that is him.
Yeah.
A lot of that is him. But a lot of that too is the system. They've put too much for him to try to digest. And not only in his first year in the NFL, but in his first 3 weeks.
Right.
Like even a prolific quarterback, you got to bring them. We've only seen a phenomenon like Peyton Manning once. That can day one. Like that day one could say, okay, this. We've only seen that one time. So why they're doing that to Caleb is the same thing. But going back to Malik too, and it tells you sometimes what franchises get pulled into. Look at how Levis looks in that Tennessee system.
Oh,
and the thing is, he'll have spark plays, but then it's a lot of stuff where he's trying to read certain things, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know, I don't want to do this." Yeah, it showed.
I think it goes back to it, and Matt still brings it up, that first KC game with Jordan, and he says it still bothers him that he called a 12 game when he should have tailored the game for Love. And every time you bring it up, he goes, we could have won that game if I'd have got out my own way and just tailored the game plan to Jordan.
I think he's learning, y'all.
Yeah.
I think it's clicking. And the last 2 weeks, I think, has showed him, okay, this is what it can be all the time.
You know what else? You know what else I think is kind of crazy with this right now too? And y'all tell me, but I'm just looking at like what you said, and I've been looking at the locker room when he's had his post-game speeches. I think he's kind of even he's gotten more of their attention
Mm-hmm.
because they all look bought in on not only what he's saying, but what they're doing. And then I think some of these young old guys that we got, like, you get a McKinley that comes over from a losing organization like the Giants, and now
Trash organization.
and now is affecting winning in a big way. It looks a lot different. So again, Matt's doing a bang up job. We want him to continue to trend upward, but I think he's doing well.
Man, it's a beautiful thing to see. And of course, our players of the week before we keep going on here. And you got to give one to our guy Malik Willis. What a day. 13 for 19, 202 yards, 2 total touchdowns, 73 yards rushing. And he looks like he could start the way he's been playing. He looks like he could start for another team right now. Only thing about that is not all other teams have Tom Clements. Just throwing that out
right,
there.
Like, you know what's crazy?
What's that?
If I was him, I would stay in Green Bay another year.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Grow, young man, grow.
Yep.
Grow, young man, grow. And I
would stay until they say, "Hey, man, you gotta get up out of here."
Yeah, and I think you maybe even wait till you get, they've seen enough to say, okay, they've developed him enough that he can come and be somebody special somewhere else. And I think he knows that. I don't think
stay another year.
I don't think he's going to be hurt. That he has to go back. Obviously, he wants to play, but I think that confidence level and watching Love and watching Love and learning from Clements, I think all of that is going to help him in the end. Mm-hmm. And we'll be talking about another quarterback that came from the grips of Green Bay and greatness somewhere else. Defensive player of the week, our man Jair Alexander. I could have went with McKinley, but his first career touchdown, I wanted to give the man some love. The guy's a trip, but he's our guy, and he could do whatever he wants. But he gets the pick six, and he jumped on that pick six from Levis, fellas. It was quick, and I don't know what Levis was. I don't know what he was thinking, but it just looked like he said, "You want this football? It's yours, sir."
Mm-hmm.
It's yours, sir. So those are offensive, defensive players of the game. I'm very excited to see also on that defensive side how much better they can be, because it feels like they're starting to grow this nice little chemistry. I think we saw sprinkles of it in the first game against the Eagles, where it was like, okay, this defense could be good. Then they kind of reverted a little bit. You're like, what's that? But the last 2 weeks, the defense has been pretty solid. Now, that is against 2 young quarterbacks, so I don't want to put too much stock into it just yet. I know they could be good, but it's something I want to kind of see as it goes. You got Stafford and next week. Then you got Stroud the week after that, who's also a young quarterback, but he's beyond his years. And then you got Darrell, who's been in this league 6 years and is starting to show up consistently. So, I mean, fellas, when you sit back and watch, you've had a chance to dissect the game. Is there anything that you wish that you could have seen a little bit better? Or some things that you feel like it was the perfect game? Is there anything that you saw that could have been fixed, or did you want to see fixed as we go along in the season?
We need an old school Paul Puzzlesny, what's the word I'm looking for? Blue collar, strategic, middle linebacker.
We need Brian Cushing.
Yeah,
that's what we need. We need Brian Cushing.
I need you to run a 4.7 and fill the holes. Know where people are supposed to be at, and stop running around out there with your head chopped off.
Yeah, they got to fix that.
Be all set.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Y'all know I've been calling for a Mike linebacker like nobody business. We need one bad. We even need to, maybe even if we don't get somebody, kind of change up personnel. It's not too late in the season to kind of move people and put them back in different positions. Mm-hmm. I do want to just give a huge shout out to not only the offense, but the offensive line, defensive line. I think they looked a lot better in this game. Defensive line only giving up 33 yards on the ground was big. Again, I keep saying Wyatt has been playing great. But for us, I think the thing that kills us, and I mean, we had 10 of them for 75 yards, penalties.
Yes.
Penalties.
Gotta fix that.
And for me, you know, penalties have always been a thing that's kind of funky in sports, but in football, the easiest way to correct those is, hey, listen, start pulling people out, or you make them pay for it. You know, I mean, listen, my coaches in high school and college were famous for, okay, you messed up. Soon as y'all get off the bus, don't go nowhere else. Get your shoes.
No, let's go.
Go. Because I mean, we got to clean this up, because against somebody like the Minnesota Vikings or other teams that we'll face down the road, I mean, we got to get off the field at third down. We can't have, man, I think
G.
it was
Walker.
Yeah, I think on that, I think Jay Reed had a really good play, and then it got called back for holding. There was a couple of good runs that got called back for holding. So again, we got to clean that up. I think the funny thing is, like we talked about last week, we were so happy about the win, but there are a lot of things that we can look at in this game and say, hey, listen, there's some things that we really do need to address. And I think penalties jumps out big time. I think, again, red zone efficiency. There are a couple of those drives we got to walk away with touchdowns instead of field goals.
It hasn't been good since like that year Aaron won the MVP.
Yeah, we and what I think happens is, like, one thing that happened with Matt, there was one of those red zone drives where the first two plays he ran the same running play. And then we tried to throw a couple different screens and different things like that. And it's like, no, Matt, like if you got down there and we got to the one, you get down there, it's either you line up in a bigger package and say, okay, we got to force this thing in, or you figure out something different that's going to give you a different matchup. Maybe a bunch set weak, you know, maybe coming out of the 5-man, going to a regular set that gives you a back look, you know, so different things, but we got to clean those up, because there are going to be teams that we play that 3 is just not going to get it. Like this game, honestly, we talked about it as we were watching it, like that game should have been blown open early.
Yeah. Should have been close.
Early.
You said it.
And it wasn't close. It still should have been. It should have been bad.
It still shouldn't have been close at all. It should have been blown open early.
Should have been Saints Cowboys bad.
Right.
That Eagles game, Ruck, you said, I think it was like the second quarter is like we should be up 21-0 right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and it was kind of the same thing last weekend. Like it was kind of the same thing. Like we came out, we scored, they came back, they scored. I think the next play was the Jair pick. And then after that, we had another really good drive. And then we got another turnover. The turnover that made me the most upset that we didn't get anything out of was the Van Ness sack fumble.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And we don't get anything out of that at all. And like that, we can't have that. And Matt, again, while he has the attention of the locker room, hold them accountable. Be harder on them because they can take it. You know, give it to them now.
It's funny that they played a Bob Knight clip, and they're like, you know, how do you get guys to stop committing fouls? He was like, ass meets bench. And then that bench will send a message to the ass, which will send a message to the brain, like, damn, I don't like sitting on the bench.
This is
Let
not
me
fun.
clean stuff up, and I'll get back in the game. He said it cures it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've got to figure this, to figure that part of it out. I feel like, you know, two teams that are obviously struggling. You know, there's a hot Minnesota team coming in this week, and you're gonna have to play. You know, I hate to say this is the first real big test of the season. They should have won. They should have beat Philly. After watching Philly the last 2 weeks, they're way better. They're way better than that Philly team, and it shows. There, you know, and I think, you know, we outclassed ourselves in the first game.
Mm-hmm.
This time, you got a team that you got a hated opponent coming in. You got Aaron Jones walking back into the. Sorry, fellas. Hold on. I need some time.
Hold up.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. You got Aaron Jones coming back in there. And we'll get back to Tennessee, but let's talk a little bit about this week. So this week, you know, you got 1:00, big game, Packers and Vikings from Lambeau. Last time these two teams faced in Lambeau, it didn't go well for Green Bay. 24, I think it was 24-10 was the final score. And, Minnesota kind of handled things in there. Kirk Cousins was doing, I think that's actually might have been the game that Kirk Cousins got hurt in.
No, but then we beat him at the end of the season.
They did beat him at the end of the season. But the last time we played them at home, not so good. Not so good. So hopefully this time around, there's a little bit of a change going into that. And, fellas, Aaron Jones is coming back into town. And he's looked really good this year. Like not like regular good, but he looks like towards the end of last season good.
Mm-hmm.
And that just makes me sad because I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. I don't know. I understand. I know why he did it, but I don't like that he did it. And Goot has been on fire. Like I'm going to give Goot his praises.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is the one. This is the one that I feel like he got wrong. I'm sorry. Like he's hit on a lot of stuff here lately, and I can sit here and I'll praise him, all I can. But this one should have never happened. And couple $1 million more. I mean, that money that you gave to Dylan, you just give that money on to Aaron. And now he's going to come into town this week, so we'll see how that goes.
And especially with AJ, with AJ on the show. Like Burns said this a lot last year, just about AJ and his regression, right? And what we were looking at. If that was the case, I don't see how you made the decision, even if you're talking about youth, right? If you're talking about production, and this is a business, right? He produced last year enough to kind of earn those couple of $1 million extra, and you still could have got a Josh Jacobs, or we could have did something different. But and Saquon is showing it in Philly. The energy or the battery in their back is just being in the division with a team that didn't want them anymore. So if you know that anybody coming in to play good this week, it's 3-3.
Oh man, he coming for. I don't want to call it revenge, but he definitely going to come out there and he's going to put on the show. Like I made sure I started him in fantasy this week, and I let you know how much I love that green and gold. But it's like, look, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt to see him in that. I mean, it's hurt every time I've seen highlights. I'm like, man, look at this. There's a couple that have gotten away in the past. You're like, nah, you can't just. This is one of them. Besides the quarterbacks, I think this one has hurt the most to see him on the opposite side. I mean, Brett hurt. This one hurts.
Brett really hurt.
Brett hurt, but this one to me hurts more than Brett. And I'm sorry, because I feel like Brett. Yes, he was a Packer through and through, but I feel like Aaron Jones was way more of a Packer through and through, and he loves this franchise. He loves the franchise, and I don't be surprised if he cries on Sunday, either before the game or after the game. He's gonna tear up, after probably a phenomenal performance. I hope they put the clamps on him. I don't want him to get hurt or nothing, but I just can't see it. As soon as I saw where he signed, I said, yeah, that's a wrap. He's going to come in and he's going to run for 200 yards both games he plays. Like that's that mentality he's going to have. That's the only thing. It's the only blemish right now. There was some past blemishes.
Burns,
he's been on fire lately.
Explain your man's, Burns.
After reading that article, that damn love letter that Aaron Jones wrote to Green Bay, I think Goop made the right decision. And I go back to when he didn't want any vets on the team last year, you got to create competition. And I think we're having this conversation now because Marshawn Lloyd is hurt. Remember, there were people that were saying that Marshawn Lloyd was the best back in the draft.
I heard a lot of that.
True. I heard that.
And I think if Lloyd is healthy and Dylan's healthy and you have Emmanuel Wilson healthy, now we're looking at this running back room like, oh, shoot. And I think back to how upset we were because how many games did Jones miss last year?
He missed probably about it felt like 8. And I don't think that's the right number, but he missed a lot.
And the year before that, at least what? And I think that's the thing that Goot had in his mind. And I come back to what I always think. There's a reason we don't bring too many guys in here who are over 30. Yeah. Because once November comes, that ground turns into rock. Can you stay healthy?
Yeah. I think
I missed the dude, and I wish he was still here.
it should be still here.
But
man.
I feel like if Lloyd's not hurt, and you got this young 20, I'm gonna resist the word. I'm resisting the urge to be a ruckus right now. But you got a workhorse. You got 2 workhorses, and you just say, "Hey, boys, we gonna put the saddle on your back today. We running for 80 times. Hey, they got Malik now. God damn, if we'd have had Marshawn healthy, Jacobs healthy, and Malik, God, that's 100 rushes a game,
bro. They probably would have never ran away, but and they probably would have never done anything else. I think that's the only reason why. I think my excitement level when they first signed, I was like, oh my goodness, this is about to get dangerous. That's it. And here's the thing, even I thought, okay, maybe if Aaron even takes a slighter, like a lesser role, and to preserve his health, and then you got Josh Jacobs running the rock with either Dylan. Yeah, oh my god. I know y'all was like, y'all reminisce too much. No, man, this is Aaron Jones we talk about, and I'm okay with that. But it's going to be a very interesting dynamic this week, because here's the thing that a lot of people, I guess, we haven't really talked about, is how good Minnesota's defense has played this year. Like, surprisingly, their defense has been trash.
They was doing this last year, because I remember people were writing articles on Blind Flores, and they were like, this defense is confusing the league.
It got better.
How he put that defense together, and he was like, I guess he for some reason he was at the University of Pittsburgh this previous summer, and he said he had noticed that their defense was doing these crazy things with blitzes. So he's like, yo, I'm just gonna sit with their defensive coordinator. And he said he came away, it was like, this can work. And now you've got season 2 with that defense, with these players, and he's just killing the league.
It's crazy. He made Stroud look like a rookie last week.
Yeah.
Now he didn't obviously no mixing, so that doesn't help. But I mean, it just at no point did it felt like, that the Houston Texans were going to have a chance to do anything in that contest. Like it just felt like, man, they're dominating. And they had a couple picks, and I mean, it was a very nice performance. Yeah. Very, very nice performance by their defense. And that's something, fellas, that I'm intrigued how the Packers offense is going to handle that. I mean, right now, I think we're still on the end of Willis starting this week, but the way they're talking, they're trying to creep Love right on in there.
No, man, listen, let him sit. Let him sit.
That boy down till we play St. Louis.
Yeah, let him sit. Let him sit. But I think, again, one of the things that in watching some of that Texans game, a lot of their sets kind of played into what he was doing too. Because one thing that I do notice about his defense is he likes to stay in nickel a lot, because a lot of those blitzes were cornerback blitzes, safety blitzes, things like that. Anybody in the league will tell you, anybody that watches football will tell you, if you're in a nickel predominantly the game, throughout the game, you can run the ball. You just have to be effective, right? So right. I think a lot of the sets, like we go back to saying like those 5-man sets or those big personnel sets, if we can put them in a situation where we're looking at second and 5, second and 4 consistently, he can't afford to bring a lot of that with the talent that we have on the outside. But if he puts them in long situations, the one thing that did scare me about that I think is great with that defense is, and I don't know how he does it, I have to really look at it again, he timed up a lot of their rollouts perfect, and there were weak side blitzes that CJ couldn't even see it coming. Like say if he's rolling to the right, he overloaded that left side and sent everybody, and he couldn't even see it. By the time he tried to plant his feet, he had 2 people in his face.
Let me ask you a question. Is that something that a veteran quarterback would have seen coming?
It would have been a lot of, you know what would expose something like that? And I thought he would do a lot better with it. I thought San Fran would, because they do a lot of short and intermediate stuff. Like a veteran quarterback would see that and just say, all right, tight end back slant, tight end back slant. because again, something like that is still going to move the change, and it's going to give you again that 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3, 3rd and 2. So now they got to guess a little bit because again, a blitzing defense in some senses like that, when they got to come up to the line and kind of show a little bit, even to ride the disguise through. If you're in a short situation, there's nothing they can do about it, especially with a nickel, because you got an extra cornerback on the field. You switch to a nickel, you probably have lighter linebackers in because you need them in coverage so you can run. So we got to see Mr. Jacobs this week. Got to see him.
Yeah, I think they did a good job last week of kind of reserving him, and I think they he didn't have as much of a heavy load that he had in game 2. And I think that was also due to the Malik's confidence and them throwing the ball a little bit more. That was something that I preached about last week on my guy Mike Patton show. Is like they're going to try to throw the ball a little bit more. They didn't have to go throw it too much more, but they tried to throw it a little bit more. And I felt like that it worked out in the Packers' favor. So, fellas, give me your keys to a victory here in this matchup between Minnesota. What do Green Bay need? What do Green Bay need to do to win this game?
Well, I gotta ask Ruck a question because this will help me answer that. Is what Sam Darnold's doing, is that off his ability or they just put him in a perfect scheme?
I really think it's both.
Okay.
So here's my thing with Sam Darnold, and it's kind of the same thing that Malik went through, right? When you've been in the league for a couple years, like Sam Darnold has, and you've kind of experienced different offenses, different play callers at different levels. So think about it. He's going from what? New York to Carolina to
San
Francisco,
San Fran, right? So he's kind of seen what good offenses and bad offenses look like. Like the one thing that is really cool in seeing him is they have an unbelievable check down system. Minnesota does. Like a lot of times, like O'Donnell has not only that back coming out the backfield, but he'll give him a balanced tight end set. So even if he got Jettas going long or across the middle, it's a tight end coming right under that on either side. Or you got somebody at least chipping the star defensive end and then leaking out. So he's got a comfortable system. But pressure, up front pressure with that front four, it could get them in trouble. And I don't think they've seen that yet. I don't think they haven't played like even as great as San Fran is, like San Fran really, but San Fran doesn't have a good nose. And in this NFL, you have to have the plug in the middle. So the fact that we got Kenny is a big thing for us. The fact that Wyatt's playing like he is and Gary is doing his thing, like they haven't seen that. And historically, we've always given their line fits. So I think that's going to play into the system again this week. But the boy is comfortable, bro. Like that, at the end of the day, he's comfortable. He's not thinking about I'm a high first round pick no more. He's not thinking about I'm the savior of a franchise. He like, yo, I'm just playing. Yeah, and y'all keep paying me. Bet.
He's in there. So what do you think, Randall? What do you got here? What do you want to see? What do you want to see? But what are your keys to victory? What do the Packers have to do to win?
I'm going to say we don't win. I don't think we win this game.
I hate when
God, why are you doing this?
Why are you doing this, man?
Look,
I understand that part.
Think
First
back
to Fat Boys break up. Now this.
Think back to a couple Fridays ago. All we wanted was Jordan to not have torn his ACL,
right?
And to at least win one of the next games.
I said two. I got both of them. I'm happy.
I said, what I tell you? I said we'd be 4-2.
I'm happy that we're 2-1. I'm okay with a loss. Let Jordan rest up. Roll into Arizona 2-2, and we'll see what it looks like. So I got no keys to victory this week.
That Arizona game is going to be
damn,
tough.
bro.
I cannot wait to see them play this week.
I don't believe in them. I don't believe in them at all.
It's like they're weird though, because like they beat up on the Rams 2 weeks ago, and they hung in with Buffalo in week 1. Then they look kind of weird against Detroit, and I'm like, man, why you look weird? And I think this was their home opener.
Yeah.
And they look weird against Detroit at home. So this week to me is going to tell a lot, because if you struggle against the Commanders, and I'm not trying to throw too much of a shot, but their defense is still not up to par yet. The defensive coordinator said that today. Their cornerbacks are giving up like every game. The defensive backs have struggled. I think, let's see, first week 1 they had Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and they both were getting off. Then Malik Neighbors came in, had 127 yards, like 8 receptions and stuff, and a touchdown. They might have 2 touchdowns in that game. Then this past week, Jamar Chase went off, and I'm like, all right now. So that's why I was like, if they struggle this week against Washington, I'll be a little bit more optimistic heading into the week 5. But I still do think that Green Bay should win that game. Based off of that, how everything is kind of going right now. But still, I don't put anything past a running quarterback, and not this running quarterback. And I know
that man is as tall as me. I don't believe in him at all.
Man, he quick, man.
Hey, he quick. Okay. He put people on skates, Burns. You better stop playing with him.
Yeah, man. I don't trust, and I got to see what it looks like against our defense. Like I think we did a fairly good job against Jalen Hurts. He's a guy that can get off and run. So, but a guy who loves to kind of break loose and run a lot, I need to see how that looks. But I worry about that. Is that next week they play him? They play him in week 5, right? That's next week. I'll worry about that next week. And then they got the Rams after that, then the Titans. So I mean not the Titans, but the Texans. So I'll worry about that next week. But this week, I think the biggest thing for me is if Malik is the quarterback this week, to continue to make him comfortable and just don't put him in bad situations. Now he's going to be at home, which is definitely going to help tremendously being at the house. But just don't put him in bad situations. Keep doing what you're doing there. I agree with what Ruck said earlier, and it's probably going to be a heavy Jacobs day. Even if Love is back, and I still think it's a heavy Jacobs day. And you kind of have to see if that can, he had a week off technically. He had a week off. You're gonna have to go back and go strong on this one. And then I think on the defensive front, I think the biggest thing is just for me, I think that they just have to continue to grow. And like you guys said, they got to fix the middle linebacker position, but I think they just got to continue to grow. They got to bring pressure on Donald, make him uncomfortable. I don't think he's been uncomfortable yet. If you watch, he's looked like he's just out there, pitching and tossing. Just it's no stress. Then after that first game, right after the first game, I said, "Oh, he out here hitting Jefferson and stuff." It's like they're not even missing a beat. It's like Kurt's gone, but you got a younger Kurt, maybe more talented. We just ain't had a chance to truly see the talent. My thing about Sam Darnold has been, when they played it, when he was in Carolina, he had that really good start that year that I think they made him the starter, and he came out there cooking, and then he got hurt. And then I think they eventually went to Baker, then they went to Cam, and he just never got a chance to be that guy again. And so I think he got kind of a raw deal there, but Carolina don't know what they're doing. And that's why I'm like, now I even thought that he might have started in San Francisco last year. Yeah. I think he had a chance to start there, but obviously they went with Purdy, which was obviously the right decision. But I knew if he got the right opportunity with the right guy, bam. And I wouldn't be surprised, y'all, if Kyle did this on purpose. Kyle probably told O'Connell, I said, "I tell you what, I got something for you. I'm gonna take in, Donald, get him situated, and then you can go get rid of Kurt, and I'm gonna send him to you." I would not be surprised, ladies and gentlemen, if that is something that happened. They all tight, unless they playing each other. They all tight unless they playing each other.
So I don't think he did that because. So I think, with the exception of Matt, those dudes think Kurt is the prototypical quarterback. The Athletic had a really good podcast series, and Donovan McNabb had spoke to this. He said when he was in Washington and Sean was there, Kyle and Matt was there, he said the whole thing with that scheme is these dudes think you don't need an elite quarterback. That if the quarterback does exactly what they say, you can win a Super Bowl. And
manager.
And then Donovan said Matt wasn't the one that believed in that. Then he said after, I think when they lost to when they lost the first loss to the Chiefs, it started changing Kyle's mind a bit, and that's why they drafted Trey. Sean started changing his mind on it, and then that's why they went and got Matt Stafford. And then they started coming around on like, okay, if things start to break down, you kind of do need an elite dude. Where Kyle still believes in that, like, no, I'm smart enough, I can scheme us to a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And they've always viewed Kurt as the perfect prototypical guy for their system, where he might not be able to bail you out on a 3rd and 15, but he's going to go put the ball where the offense needs it to go every single time. Which is, remember when Matt first got here, there was that whole hubbub of can 12 change plays at the line, and we was like, why is this even a question? What the hell is wrong with you? And then you fast forward, now this man was crying because he thought he was going to lose 12.
I can't take it.
But
12s look good, by the way, too. Just thought about it.
Well, AR8 looks good. But,
AR8, yeah.
But going back to what you said, I think for us, time of possession, penalties, and then I think a lot of it now, especially in this game, is going to be personnel. Like, I don't know about y'all, but like when we play teams that have like a star wide receiver, I always worry about Jair. I'm like, what is he thinking?
Have you seen Justin Jefferson talking?
I'm like, I hope he ain't, not only is he not talking trash to these dudes,
he gonna talk trash.
But I hope he not telling himself, like, I fully see him. Like, y'all remember what Willie Beeman turned into on Any Given Sunday?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what Jair does. Like, once we get top tier receivers, he'd be
like, the hell with the scheme.
Yeah.
I'm in there, baby. Let's get it. My man homeboy from the Foul Heartbeats. Every night I gotta be out here to prove my love. He out here every night, every game, trying to prove he the best cornerback in the league. It's every single time, bro.
Right.
Like, it's
because
okay.
you know what it was last week that I think got that performance out of him. He played the system.
Right.
Like, even on that interception, he read what he was going to do. He saw him, had great distance between him and D-Hop, and said, you know what? I saw this. Now I'm going to go jump it. Not you pressing D-Hop. He throw your little ass to the ground, and then you like, oh, I can get back. No. Play the system. Do not walk up to that man and say nothing. Don't say no J words. Don't say nothing about his necklaces. Put some tape on his mouth, man. Please, Jenna.
I saw Justin say something earlier. He was like, Jair is like my big brother. He's just always trying to get in my head, but I'm not paying attention to that. And I'm like, what did this dude say already?
He done said some crazy stuff.
You know he said something.
He had to
stuff because he's talked about him 2 times this week. I knew he had to say something to him.
He been saying wild
tweeted
stuff
him or inboxed him something.
Yo, and here's the thing. Like, I don't know if y'all noticed, I've been paying attention a lot. Like, Jettis is on something totally different this year.
Yeah,
did y'all see when they asked him the question, like, yo, what do you think? He was like, respectfully, I am. You know who I am?
Yo, y'all know he was only a 2-star recruit, baby. He was a 2-star recruit. So he only got to go to LSU because his brother was the QB. Wow. And they had another brother that was there. Oh. And he was like, yo, Jamar was the 5-star. And he said, respectfully, who's the better pro now? And I'm like, damn, this dude was only a 2-star. He was like, I was only a 2-star.
I can see it. But if you think about it, like I was watching a podcast, the Pivot, when they had Burrow on, and Burrow said Jamar was the dude when they walked in, but he said it was healthy and intense competition all year. So they had dogs all around. And I think for him, for Justin, I mean, Minnesota was like almost like the perfect landing spot for him. Because he could become the guy. And he has the skill set to be one of, if not the top ones once he's done.
Yeah. And it was crazy you said that. He said they asked me, like, when did you know you was like a legit, you could do everything? He was like, I started noticing Jamar was getting the ball if it was like 1st and 19. He said, I'm getting the ball on 1st and 10, 3rd and 9. He goes, oh, so y'all throwing to me all the time. So y'all think I can handle this workload. And then that's why when he got drafted that late, he was like, oh, y'all think I stink.
And we just let him slip.
Wait, hold up.
Hey, yo.
Who did we take that
Hey,
year?
yo. D, don't do that.
What year was that?
I was letting him live on this goot. You know what? Let me shut up.
But you know what? No, that was pre-good Goot year. So pre-good drafting Goot year. So that was like what 18, 19. We understand that after 20 he's been amazing. So I'm not gonna knock him. Hold on.
What year was that? Okay, let me see.
Yeah, we gotta look at this.
Oh no. Oh God, no. That was the beginning of the Goot era. We took Jordan Love. Hell no.
Really? So that was the same year?
Yeah. I'm happy with the way that turned out. Y'all
wait a minute.
wide receiver.
Wait a minute. When did he get drafted? Like what pick?
He went 22 and we got Love at 26.
He was the first. Oh, I thought he was a second round pick.
Okay,
that's different.
Okay, all right. But listen, all right.
But we were trying to trade him to get
out of that one.
They look. San Francisco jumped us because they knew we were going to go. I think they were going to go get Ayuk, and I think what end up happening to be Love is because they jumped us and they said, "Well, we got to get Love now," because they were from what I was hearing, Ayuk was the pick initially, and then when they jumped him, they was like going with Jordan. That's when I think they made it was one or two.
Was taking his black son the whole time.
Man, I don't know, man. But then again, we talking about the same guy that went a whole draft and let 26, 27 receivers get drafted ahead of time when we needed one. So
remember when he did that, D, we talking about people like Debo, DK. Man, like we talking about those folks that he let walk past him like this. Hey, how you doing? Right.
Yeah, man.
I told you why that was. He was gonna help that man out while he was still here.
Yeah, you said it.
Hey,
you said it.
Listen, listen. You are absolutely right. I understand that, but again, here is my thing, bro. Could you imagine what our team would look like with one or two of those players? Could you imagine what our offense would look like with a DK Metcalf?
They want to develop because 12 would have been cussing them out.
I bet you Debo would have been a straight. Him or DK would have been a monster under him in 17.
Well, under Matt, DK would have been great, but DK don't stay healthy.
What did you say?
Not DK. I meant to say Debo don't stay healthy. My fault.
About the locker room now that man is gone and everybody can gel.
They are kind of clicking. So
nobody's staring you down all crazy when you drop the ball.
Listen, I am not. And by the way, because you said that too, everybody's like blowing up that thing with him and Salah on the sideline too. That did look kind of crazy though.
But he said he don't like to be hugged. I think he said Salah don't like to be hugged
all the damn time.
But I thought it was I forgot what I heard him say on McAfee, but I think he said Salah don't like to be hugged. So when he went in for it, he stopped him because he was like, "You don't like to be hugged," so he stopped him from hugging him. I think they did it as a joke, but you know, as a person that knows what the camera can perceive and what it can't perceive, I believe him. I believe him.
Yeah, but as the dude that you watched him for 20 years and know of a jerk he could be.
Yeah, it could have went the other way. It definitely could have went the other way. It was weird. It was definitely weird. I don't know why he did it, but as long as, I guess for their sake, as long as it doesn't mess up the chemistry overall, they should be all right.
So listen, fellas, I'm gonna say this again, just so we can have it on tape again. Again, I think going into the Texans game, we 4-2. I think we win the next two games, fellas.
I was
scared about the Rams, and I'm still kind of worried because, listen, man, one thing that I will give credit, Sean McVay is a hell of a coach.
Oh yeah.
He is a tactician and he is an excellent motivator.
They remember last year.
Yeah,
I think he might be the best out of the three.
Yeah, but I tell you this, man, I really do. If we play this right, and I think what we can turn this Minnesota game into is a game that we need. We need an ugly game. We need an ugly, low-scoring, hold the ball, ugly game. We get one of those and we win it, I think it's only going to be better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm worried about, though? Say we go 4-2, right? Jordan comes back, we start losing.
That's a problem. That's also a problem. You don't want, but the schedule also gets tougher when Jordan gets back too. So it's not like, it starts to get a little bit tougher. There's some tough teams in that middle. I don't want, because then you're gonna start to hear, oh man, they need to have Malik back in there. I don't want that.
That's why he's trying to come back so quick. Because I'm thinking about, like, when you come into the season, the hype was around him and CJ, the two young guys.
Yeah.
Now he's hurt. CJ's playing. You got Jaden playing, and to me, I'm like, I get it. You still want to be in that conversation. You got your money, dog. You good. Like,
I think it's part of it. I definitely think it's part of it. If Malik continues to win and like he plays this weekend, he beats Minnesota, and that's 3 straight wins. He's 3-0 as a starter. So if he comes in and he loses that next game when he starts, people are gonna be like, oh Lord, should have had you. He's got to at least win one first before he loses one. Before people will be like, because if he loses that first one and Malik is 3-0, 4-0 when he get in there, yeah, that's gonna be a small problem. Don't need that. He need to at least win one before he lose one. In my opinion.
Here's the thing what I like about the schedule is we got some, after the Texans games, we got some games that are easy games to motivate our guys for. That I think they can play easy. Like, think about it. After the Texans, we got the Jags, the Lions, and the
Bears. The way they playing. The way the Jags playing right now, that should be a win easily.
The Bears
and Jordan could come in. I'm telling you, if Jordan comes back by the time we get to Texans and he is comfortable, say we pull out that game and then he goes to the Jags and say he becomes confident.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Come on, man. We can roll to San Fran. We really can. We really can. And San Fran got some questions that they got to answer too. Yeah, I think, again, it's some easy games for us to get up. We can get up for Detroit. We can get up for Chicago. We can get up for, the Texans. We can get up for those games. So I think, again, let Malik do what he's doing. It's not. I don't believe it'll be a quarterback controversy.
Oh no!
I think people have completely fallen in love with 10, and I'm on the train. I'm on the train too.
It's the love train. It's the love train.
The love train.
I was there day one.
Yeah, absolutely. I will give you credit for that, and you were right, sir. You were right.
First thing I said was get that old ass man out of there.
Yeah. So I think. Hold on. Stop doing that. See, when I give you credit, then you go with the backhanded stuff.
He said, I'm going to take an extra mile.
Right, man.
And I said, I'm going to go push it just a little bit.
Yeah, man. Look, see, now you're going to write another note. Hey, D,
it's a love letter.
Get us out of here, D.
So look, fellas. Once again, everybody. Well, before we go real quick, prediction of the game, and then we out of here. Randall, you've already said what you're gonna say. I'm gonna let you go first because we're gonna try to end on a positive note. Randall, how do you see this game going? What's the final? What's the sky?
I could be positive. We're gonna lose 30-14. Aaron Jones gonna run for 150 yards and have 45 receiving yards.
Packer fans are spitting on you right now. This is crazy work. D, how do you see this game going?
Hey man, I see this one as a fun and ugly one. I say 27-24 Packers. We get a field goal at the end.
Cool. I could take that. I want to say I was kind of leaning the same, but I got it 27-21. I think the Packers should win this game. Well, I'm not gonna say should. That's strong. Can win this game, and I really think it's going to be all about the defense. The defense is going to be the biggest key to this one. If they continue to grow and be what they've slowly becoming, I think that they can win this game. But it's a critical game because one, you don't need them to have a 2-game lead of you in the NFC North because I know it's early, but they'll have a 2-game lead in the North. The Bears are already 1-2, and then Yeah, they have a 2-game lead over you, and then of course you got the Lions who are 2-1. So you don't want too much of a separation at the top. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Well, all right, everybody, that's it.
Wait, before we get out of here.
Wait a minute. What you got?
Michael Vick's Evolution of the Black Quarterback is out now on Amazon. So for those listening, watching along, please definitely check that out. Real good thing, man. For some reason, Josh Allen's in it. I don't know why, but yeah, it's out.
Hey man, he loves Michael Vick, man. Let that man love Michael Vick. It probably was his role model when he was growing up.
Yeah.
They started playing better when they stopped calling the Josh Allen offense and the Jaheim Allen offense and said, you go ahead and run, boy.
The Jaheim Allen offense is crazy.
The Jaheim is crazy.
Jaheim Allen offense is crazy. All right, everybody, that's it. We will see you all next week to preview, and it looks like it's actually the Rams, y'all. They got the Rams next Sunday. So they got the Rams the following Sunday, and then they got the Cardinals. So we're back to talk Rams, Packers, and for LA, and then see if we're feeling pretty good and we don't have to do this.
I hadn't more to talk about when we lose.
I hadn't played it yet. I just wanted to kind of we've been winning, so that's a good deal. I just needed to hear it. But hopefully we don't have one of those next week. All right, everybody. My guy Randell Burns, my man Dishon Rucker. This has been Green and Gold over everything. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.